Hey there! If you're a football fan or just want to stay up to date with the hottest news of the day, you can't miss this video. Today I brought you the 3 most important news stories in the world of football, and the last one will leave you gobsmacked. It's the one that's trending on the internet and that everyone is talking about. But hold on, before that, there are 2 other pieces of information you need to know. So, stick with me until the end because news story number 3 will be worth every second. Let's go. News story 1. Mark Guehi's future. Newcastle still in the mix and Crystal Palace prepare for his departure. Newcastle United haven't given up on strengthening their defense, and the name at the top of the list remains Mark Guehi, Crystal Palace's defender and captain. The player, who recently lifted the FA Cup with Palace, is entering the final year of his contract, and that changes everything. The situation is as follows. If Guehi doesn't renew by June 2025, he can leave the club for free, a possibility that frightens Crystal Palace, who are already moving to avoid a millionaire loss. A replacement is already being chosen. While Newcastle monitor the situation, Palace are already looking for a suitable replacement. The strongest name at the moment is Ousmane Diamond, Sporting Lisbon's defender, valued at around £45 million. A high price, but it may be necessary, as Guehi was valued at £70 million a few months ago. What do the parties involved say? Palace's manager, Oliver Glasner, admitted that he doesn't know if the player will renew. The negotiations were already underway before I arrived. Mark is thinking about what's best for his career, and we have to respect that. Guehi himself, after winning the FA Cup, gave an evasive answer. My focus is on Palace. I still have a contract here, so I continue to do my best. The future? We'll see what happens. Newcastle have an ace up their sleeve. With time working against Crystal Palace, Newcastle hope that Guehi's price will drop significantly. If Palace don't want to risk losing him for nothing, they may be forced to negotiate for an even lower price this summer. Will Newcastle manage to close this major signing? Or will Palace hold on to their captain at any cost? One thing is certain, this saga promises new chapters soon. News story 2. Newcastle reignite James Trafford negotiations. Goalkeeping promise who already wanted to wear the Magpies shirt. Newcastle United are intensifying their efforts to strengthen the team's most crucial position, the goal. The main target now is James Trafford, a young 22-year-old goalkeeper who has been catching attention at Burnley after an exceptional season in the Championship. The player who almost came in 2023. The history between Trafford and Newcastle isn't new. Last summer, the club was very close to signing the goalkeeper, but the deal was aborted due to a complex negotiation involving Nottingham Forest and Greek goalkeeper Odysseas Vlachodimos. Now, with a new opportunity in hand, the Magpies have resumed talks with Burnley. Impressive numbers. Last season, Trafford was one of the great revelations of English football. 19 games without conceding a goal. Only 16 goals conceded throughout the campaign. Incredible streak of 12 unbeaten matches between December and March. Negotiation details. According to information from Sky Sports, Burnley valued the player at around £30 million. Trafford had already agreed personal terms with Newcastle last year. The verbal agreement would still be valid, according to journalist Fabrizio Romano. What does the player himself say? In a recent interview, Trafford revealed his desire to have transferred to Newcastle in 2023. At the time, I thought it would be a great opportunity for my career. It wasn't a matter of not wanting to play in the Championship, but rather believing that it was the right time to take a bigger step. Restructuring in the sector. Trafford's possible arrival is part of a larger movement at Newcastle. Nick Pope should remain the first choice. Martin Dubravka and Vlachodimos may leave the club. John Ruddy's contract runs until June 30th. Fraser Foster, a former academy player, is another option under analysis. Why is this transfer important? The bet on Trafford represents a long-term solution for the goal, valuation of a young English talent, planning for the eventual succession of Nick Pope, essential reinforcement for the European campaign next season. With negotiations underway and mutual interest between club and player, everything indicates that this time Newcastle can finally complete the signing of this promise of English football. The fans eagerly await news about this that could be one of the first major signings for next season. News story 3. Historical opportunity. Newcastle could sign Calvert-Lewin without a transfer fee. The transfer market holds an extraordinary opportunity for Newcastle United, who could make one of the smartest deals of the summer window. The club is attentive to the situation of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Everton striker, whose contract expires on June 30th, which means a unique chance of signing without paying a transfer fee. A situation that has radically changed. Just a year ago, Newcastle tried to acquire the striker for £40 million. Negotiation included a swap with Yankuba Minteh. Everton maintained a firm position on their top scorer. Today, the player's contract has its days numbered. Everton are racing against time for renewal. Newcastle positioned for a possible free signing. The impasse in negotiations. Everton have already made decisions about other players. New contracts offered to Seamus Coleman and Idrissa Gueye. Several athletes confirmed for departure. Calvert-Lewin's situation remains open. Official statement from the club. We remain in discussions with the representatives of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Michael Keane, whose contract expire at the end of June. Newcastle's context. Calvert-Lewin's possible arrival would resolve several issues. Uncertain future of Callum Wilson. Contract ending. Need for depth in attack for European competitions. Opportunity to acquire an experienced striker without a transfer fee. Relevant data about the player. 28 years old, ideal age for a player at his peak. 71 goals in 274 games for Everton. Experience in the Premier League and the English national team. Last goal scored at St. James Park, last match day. The other side of the coin. Risks involved. Recent history of injuries. 2023-24 season below expectations, only 3 goals. Potentially high salary for a player without a transfer fee. What to expect? While Newcastle explore other options such as João Pedro, Brighton, Calvert-Lewin's situation represents a rare market opportunity. Immediate solution for the attack. Calculated risk with high potential return. The outcome of this story will crucially depend on the next few weeks. If Everton failed to renew, Newcastle could make one of the most strategic signings in recent years, all without spending a penny on transfer fees. The fans eagerly await developments in what could be the big move of the market. So, what did you think of all these twists and turns in the Newcastle transfer market? The summer window promises to be electrifying, and the speculations don't stop. Will we see Mark Guéhi strengthening the defense, James Trafford arriving to fight for the starting position in goal, or even a goal de placa with a free arrival of Dominic Calvert-Lewin? We want to know your opinion. Which of these news stories surprised you the most? Do you believe that any of these negotiations will actually materialize? Or is there another name you dream of seeing wearing the Newcastle shirt? Leave your comment below and let's discuss the future of the Magpies together. If you enjoyed this dose of hot news and want to stay on top of everything that happens in the world of football, don't forget to leave your like on this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates, and activate the little bell to be notified whenever we have news. Tomorrow there will be much more exclusive information and in-depth analyses. Stay tuned. Cheers, folks, and see you next time.